let's say you're at the grocery store and you're in line paying for your groceries. 9 times out of 10, if you look over to the side, you see the candies that are there in the aisle, and you'll also see a ton of women's health, men's health, women magazines, celebrity gossip magazines, and in probably each one of those magazines there is some kind of title or some kind of article that's talking about weight loss and how fast you can lose weight and how quickly you can get abs. And oftentimes what these nutrition ideas or these fads that they're talking about in here are referring to something that in the industry I call a crash diet. So today we're going to talk all about crash diets and why they're maybe not such a good idea. What is up, people? Jean Carlos here with the Total Body Training Podcast, where I help people get lean, gain muscle, and build some damn confidence. And today we're talking about crash diets. Okay. In order to understand what a crash diet is, I Googled the definition of it because it's a little bit unclear as to what that means. And I think there's a lot of confusion about what that means. So I'm going to give you roughly the definition that I found and then, talk to you about red flags as to whether or not the diets that you're looking at or the diet that maybe you're on right now would be considered a crash diet. And essentially what I found online said that a crash diet is any diet that promises that you're going to see quick results, that you're going to lose a ton of weight very quickly. And the temptation to do a crash diet is understandable because, we're just human and we want to try to lose weight or to do the things that we don't like to do in the quickest way possible. Like, I totally get why someone would want to streamline the process. I mean, everything in life is built that way. Everything in life, runs on the idea of improving and getting things done faster and quicker. And so why not weight loss? Why not, do that when it comes to your weight loss? Well, the problem with that is that if you lose weight drastically, if you lose it very quickly, it's very hard to keep the weight off, and it's also very hard to continue to lose weight, and it's not a sustainable model, and you're also going to feel like shit when you're doing it. So, what exactly then is a crash diet, right? Because, I understand that we understand now that it's any time that you lose weight too quickly, but what are some red flags that you are reading about a crash diet? Well, one way that we know that something's a crash diet is if it promises that you'll lose a drastic amount of weight very quickly. So let's say that a plan that you're looking at says that you can lose 5-10 pounds a week, something like that, and that by the end of 4 weeks you'll have lost 40 pounds, or that by the end of 6 weeks you'll have lost 60 plus pounds. That is a crash diet. That is an unhealthy way to lose weight. That is non-sustainable. And the problem with losing that much weight very quickly, let's say that you do go on a nutrition plan where you lose 40 pounds in 4 weeks. The problem is that you will not be able to keep that weight off. It's just not going to happen unless you continue to starve yourself. Because when you go on a crash diet, essentially what you're doing is you're putting yourself at a caloric deficit, which is fine. Losing weight requires you to be at a caloric deficit. However, how low you have to go how much you have to lower your calories in order to lose weight when you're crash dieting is so drastic that it's essentially what you're doing, not in a way, but what you are doing is starving yourself. You are starving yourself, and that's why you're able to lose that weight so quickly. Anybody can lose weight if they're starving themselves. And here's the thing. If you, let's say, want to do a crash diet because you have a vacation in the Cayman Islands with your friends or a bachelorette party or bachelor party next month, right? And you just want to look as slim as you did when you got out of high school or college. So, you go on this crash diet and you really dedicate yourself and you're drinking 2 gallons of water a day or some crap like that, and you're eating like next to no food and you're only eating vegetables or, a very small portion of protein. You might be able to lose that weight if you stick to it, and a lot of people can, but the moment that you get there and the moment that you come back, you're going to not be able to sustain that because your body doesn't like to be starving. You're going to feel tired, you're going to feel fatigued, and that is a big problem. In addition to that, another huge problem is that let's say that you would like to keep, to lose 40 or 60 pounds and you'd like to keep it off for a lifetime. If you use a crash diet, if you use something that drops your calories, drastically, let's say you're eating like 500 or 600 calories a day and drinking 2 gallons of water, what will happen is that you're going to have, your base metabolic rate is going to drop. So that means base metabolic rate is the amount of calories that you need in order to the amount of calories that will sustain your body at where it's at right now is going to drop. So, the way that we lose weight is by putting ourselves at a caloric deficit. The way that we gain weight is by putting ourselves at a caloric surplus. So that's either eating too many calories or eating too few calories, right? And so your base metabolic rate is the amount of calories that you need to eat in order to continue to maintain the weight that you have. Now, if you drop your calories down to 700 calories and you're barely eating anything, or 500 calories, something like that, your base metabolic rate is now going to be very, very low, meaning that the amount of calories that you have to eat is going to have to remain in that pretty much starvation mode for you. And what will happen is that you won't be able to sustain that because you're going to be eating way less calories than your body should be eating. And what will most definitely happen, unless you continue to starve yourself, is you're going to gain the weight back. When you gain the weight back, losing that weight again is going to be very difficult because your base metabolic rate is going to be lower than it was before. Yes, what's happened is you've readjusted that, your biology has readjusted that, and your body now says in order for you to lose weight, you need to lower down into like the 500 or the 600 calorie range, back to where you were before, and then in order to continue to lose weight, you're going to have to go below that again. So, that's one reason why you don't want to use a crash diet. What would be better is if you found a diet that's more sustainable. A good way to do this is to find a nutritionist who can help you figure out what a sustainable weight loss plan looks like. And weight loss is dependent on how much weight you have on your body and your height or your age and things like that. How much weight you have, your BMI, stuff like that. I'm not a nutritionist. A nutritionist can explain it in more depth. What I do, however, here at Total Body Training, because I'm not a nutritionist, is I outsource our plans to Renaissance Periodization. And they build plans that work great for my clients here. So if you're wanting to come try a free class with us and learn about the plans that they build for people that we use, then click the link in the description section and you can come watch a free video with us. But there are free ways you can lose weight in a sustainable way. One of those is by using MyFitnessPal. So if you hop on the App Store, whether you're on Android or on Apple or Google or whatever phone device you're using, you can find MyFitnessPal and it'll tell you how much you need to eat in order to lose weight. Now, here's the thing. On there, it's going to tell you that you should lose between 1 or 2 pounds a week. That is a sustainable way to lose weight. Do not change anything on your MyFitnessPal. So let's say that you want to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week and you look at your MyFitnessPal ratio, right, your macros, and on your macros you've got a certain percentage of fats that you need to eat, a certain percentage of carbs, and a certain percentage of proteins. And you look at the carbs and you say, I'm not going to eat those carbs, I'm going to drop them by like 20%. Yes, what's going to happen, and you're going to continue to eat everything else the same way, meaning you're not adjusting any of your other macros, you're just not going to eat the appropriate amount of carbs for you to lose 1 or 2 pounds a week. What you're doing is you're going to put yourself at a low caloric deficit. So you're jumping forward in your nutrition plan and it's going to be much harder for you to lose weight in the future. So that in a way is a form of you creating a crash diet on your own. I can't tell you how many people will use MyFitnessPal and then look at the macros that are on there and then just decide that because carbs are demonized in our culture, because carbs are bad, that they're not going to eat the carbs that are on there and then just continue to eat the same amount of calories. You've got to make up the calories that you take out of your diet from carbs with something else. So, if you are tempted to do that, if you don't feel safe using that, MyFitnessPal, which is 100% free and has worked for millions of people, then you're going to need to find a nutritionist. We would be happy to point you in the direction of some really good people over at Renaissance Periodization. Just click that link in the description section, we'll help you out. Anyways, people, I hope that you understand what a crash diet is now and that you understand it clearly. The next time that you're looking at nutrition plans, just make sure that they're not telling you that you're going to lose a ton of rapid weight. Rapid fat loss isn't the best choice for people. Most people will not be able to keep that weight off and you're going to feel crappy and crabby while losing that weight because you're putting yourself into a starvation mode. All right, people, thank you so much for tuning in to the Total Body Training Podcast. Until next time, peace.
So I went from a size 16 to a size 6'7", and I've lost currently about 60 pounds with TBT.
I've lost 60 pounds since I started here, and the body fat that I've lost is 16.2%.
I've definitely noticed a lot in like those hard to reach areas, the muffin top, the back fat. it's really slimmed down for me.
The weightlifting, it's definitely kept me toned, and it's definitely kept me confident to where I can, show my legs because I have great quads, with TBT, or my arms because I can pull myself up or lift. Total Body Training offers a one-time free training session. So you come in, you get a great workout, and you can decide if you want to join, and definitely you're gonna want to join because you won't regret the free workout.